What's up, Kansas City? I'm your host, Glenn Brian Frizzell. Today we are filming in the 18th and Vine District at the Lincoln Building. Today's special guest is seeking your vote in the upcoming general election. It is general, right?
Yeah, it's for all of council and the mayor.
5th District at large for all of council and the mayor, Mr. Dennis Anthony. We are glad that he's here with What's Up, Kansas City. Welcome. Hopefully you could talk to our viewers a little bit about issues that matter to them and why they should vote.
Thank you for having me.
Certainly. Tell us a little bit about why you decided to throw your name in this election coming up.
Well, I've been in service most of my adult life. Retired 28 years from the Navy Reserve as an officer. Retired from city as a code enforcement officer 12 years, and retired 2 years ago. Realizing I still have energy left for more service, it seemed like the next logical thing to do was to run for city council. And I've got a passion for service, so that's what I want to do.
Tell us a little bit about your district, the 5th District at large, Mr. Anthony.
Well, the 5th District, it goes from basically Paseo going east to the city limit, out as far east as Nolan Road, Lee Summit Road. It's a pretty good sized district. There's a lot of feeling by people that we've been neglected the last several years. There's been some controversy in the city council. We've had a person resign, but that's the past. What a lot of people believe is that in the 5th District, we've just not had the attention on us that we deserve.
Okay, Mr. Anthony, that's the past. What are you going to do in the future?
Well, I'm running at large. There's some good candidates running in district. I'm running at large because there are lots of needs. There's no shortage of work to do in Kansas City, Missouri. We've got 316 square miles of city. We got a lot of geography. We got some big issues that need to be tackled. The airport, the streetcar, crime, education, all those kind of things. And I've got a passion to dig in there and see what I can do to help.
Now, you mentioned airport and streetcar, that's transportation. We definitely also have some other issues that need to be tackled. We here at What's Up Kansas City are very strong advocates for education, promoting crime prevention, as well as financial development. What specifically in your campaign speaks to those particular areas to our viewers?
Okay, for crime, we've got a crime problem. That's for sure. We're very fortunate. I think we've got a good public safety organization. We've got a good fire department. We have a police department headed by Chief Forte, who's doing a great job. It's
no crime last year, but this year, kind of tugging at that statistic.
We are, and I think we've got some young people, regardless of race. We've got some young people that have given up and turned to crime because they feel like that they're left out. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have to. It's not enough to just arrest someone burglarizing a house. We're going to have to get to some of the root causes of crime, the fractured families. We've got.
How do we do that? I have a comment here by Calvin Brown. You mentioned issues our citizens are concerned, and we're moving forward. I asked you. He says our youth drive through the streets. Actually, we need to drive through the streets and look at the youth that are not working, who are not in school with no prospects and low education. What can we do for them? Do you have an answer for that?
Well, that's a tough one. Mm-hmm. That's a real tough one, because what's happened to some of our young people is that they've grown up in these fractured families where the dad has left, or the dad's in Texas, the mom has maybe turn to the drug life.
But that's not an excuse for perpetuating crime in the neighborhood and getting sent to prison, is it?
Well, I'm just trying to lay some background there for why I think some of these things happen.
They definitely happen.
There's no excuse, and regarding education, there's a lot of talk about the school district, Kansas City School District needs to do this or that, or the Board of Education needs to pump more money into this. I think one thing that's left out of the equation, maybe we need to talk a lot more about what happens to children between birth and say 5 years old.
Really?
Yeah, because that's by the time you're 5 years old, you've laid the foundation for what's going to happen in future years. And we don't want 4 or 5 year old kids reporting for school angry, abused, hungry. I think we need to pay attention to the pre 5 year olds. I'd like to see full day preschool for a 4 year old as a start. But I'd like to speak with members of the faith community, among others, and start emphasizing, families, let's stay together. Dads, take your family to church. Raise your kids. It shouldn't be up to grandma to raise our kids. Thank God we have grandmothers that'll do that. Next door to me, and the grandmother has just adopted an 8-year-old boy because the dad's in prison. I try to mentor him, but we just do the best we can. We've got work to do. It's not just a matter of creating a job program, which we do need. We've got work to do.
What do you feel about the president's push to not only promote early childhood education, but to equally allocate wealth among middle class communities, those who aspire to be a part of the middle class? Are we not allocating our financial resources fairly? And this is an overall question, not just for the district in general, Mr. Anthony.
Well, the problem with this shrinking middle class is I lay part of the blame of that, and I'm grateful that the president is addressing that and is very concerned and is trying to bring attention to our vanishing or shrinking middle class. And the top 1% is doing great. We used to have a middle class. You could have a high school diploma and go out. A man could and make great money in a manufacturing plant and raise a family. But part of the blame goes to businesses for shipping our jobs overseas. Those good jobs are now in China or Taiwan or Thailand instead of right here. Fortunately, we do have some manufacturing plants left over. We've got Ford Motor Company plant in Claycomo just said we're going to hire 900 more people. Well, I'd like to see a couple more manufacturing plants in Kansas City, Missouri. I'd like, to give young people, maybe with a high school education that don't want to go to college, they could maybe go to work in a manufacturing plant and have a future.
A few chosen few, and I don't mean to stereotype your words, but I see, particularly, Mr. Anthony, that we are losing some of our youth. We are educating them, but the type of students that we are educating are not the same as the type of students you were in my generation were. Are we losing our 5 and 6 year olds? What are the resources we need in our community to support our educators?
To support teachers and
Teachers
such.
and administrators and those who work with young people.
Well, we need to make sure that they're funded. After school programs, definitely probably for especially for the teen years, and a good after school sports program or arts program for these kids. That's a good thing. All day preschool for 4 year olds, and make sure that everyone has breakfast, when they come to school. I think we're making steps. The Board of Education we have 14 school districts in Kansas City. Many of them are doing well, and we need to keep doing what we're doing. We need the money in education. We need activities for these kids after school, band, sports, all that kind of thing.
It takes a certain type of strength to do that, to have pride in yourself and pride in your community. Through your eyes, quickly, Mr. Anthony, as you campaign, are there any particular comments that you would like to stress? What have you seen in the people that you've talked to, that you've reached out to, and what do you hope to accomplish by securing our vote?
You know, I was at a candidate forum where KSHB reported, and after all the candidates made their comments, a young man came up to me afterwards and said, we need you to come into our community and be mentors to our kids, because the dads are gone in so many cases. And so I think I'd like to brainstorm with people, with people on council and people in the community, the faith community and education. I'd like to brainstorm what I would call KC Loved, LOVD, League of Volunteer Dads. Just came to mind. And I wonder if we shouldn't have talks and brainstorm ways to get some volunteer dads to come in, because he's got a great point. If the dad is missing, if the family's fractured up, and the young child is being raised on the street, you know, he needs a dad.
And we also want to focus in on the positive things, such as you coming here today, Mr. Anthony, and talking to us. Is there any, in your final words, is there anything else that you would like to add? Tell our viewers why they should vote for you. I think you've kind of hit on it.
Well, I've got a passion. I've got a passion for public service. I mentioned 28 years in the Navy.
What high school did you go to? Local?
William Chrisman High School in Independence. I was born in Kansas City but raised in Independence. So 28 years of naval service, 12 years of city service in code enforcement. And like I said, I realized when I retired 2 years ago, I'm not done. I still have more energy to offer for service. I got passion for service. I want to get in there and see what I can do to solve some of these problems.
And what is the term limit for 5th District at large?
5th District at large.
Okay, how many years would you be able to serve?
It would be for 4 years.
For 4 years? And the election is when?
The primary is April 7th, so I encourage everyone to get out to vote.
Get out and vote April 7th. What's up, Kansas City viewers? Stay in contact with us for more video online, and to check out more candidate video, go to www.whatsupkansascity.net. We'd like to thank Mr. Anthony for coming here today, and as usual, aim high, shoot for the moon. If you miss, at the very least, you would have landed among the stars. Take care until next time. I'm your host, Glenn Brian Purcell.
CMG wants you to always remember, the victory we call success goes to the best prepared. When you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. Thanks.